Hi all, Andy here. I just want to give a quick update on Biden's $1.9 trillion stimulus that the president and Democrats are hoping to push through by the end of this month. So they're basically being very aggressive and are going to use the budget reconciliation process to essentially bypass Republican opposition. And because they now control Congress, thanks to the Republicans losing Georgia, they can now basically go through this budget reconciliation process and pass this entire package with or without Republican support. So I'll go through some of the key elements and just give you where they are right now. I have videos for each specific one, so please consider subscribing to get those. And if this video is helpful to you, please hit the like button below it. So just looking at the key elements, and like I said before, the entire package can actually pass without Republican support. And I think this is probably one of the unheralded aspects of the fact that Democrats control Congress right now. So other than the challenges of the election and what happened after that, the fact that Republicans no longer control any branch of the government means that these massive bills can now pass through with just a simple majority through the budget resolution process. You can go look that up, and it's a very detailed, arcane process, but essentially means that if it's approved in the committees, they can pass it through. All they need is to get a simple majority in the House and in the Senate, and the president can sign it. Donald Trump passed this for his tax bill, so there's probably no position there for Republicans to say this can't be used. So the promise to get this done by the end of the month is highly likely, and I think it will happen. So what's going to be in the package, and it's been pretty well publicized, and I wanted to show some of the key elements. I'm doing videos for each of these over the next few days, and as more details comes out, you can see them, and I'll include some links below to some recent articles as well. But the biggest one everyone's heard of is $1,400 direct stimulus checks. These will go to adults and their dependents, and it's also going to expand it to dependents under the age of 24. So before it was limited to 17, now it's going to go up to 24 plus elderly parent dependents that people claim on their 2020 or 2019 tax return. So that's pretty huge. That's probably another 4 to 5 million people that could potentially be getting this extra $1,400. And if you include some of the other child tax credit expansions, some families could be getting close to $10,000 a year just based on stimulus payments. And you can see the video up there for an example on that. There's also going to be a big thing affecting close to 12 million Americans whose current unemployment benefits, the supplementary payments, there's currently $300. They want to increase it to $400, but the $300 and the payment, which is under the Federal Pandemic Unemployment Compensation or FPUC, and also the extensions of the PUA and PEUC programs to extend benefits for those who don't qualify for state benefits and those who do, the PEUC program. They're looking to expand those through to September. So they're going to raise the $300 to $400 and then also expand the PUA and PUC programs through September. So this program is currently due to expire in March 14th and then phase out by April 10th. So this expansion will take it probably towards September. So that's a pretty big expansion, very expensive, but with the economy still recovering from the COVID-induced pandemic, I think this is going to be needed to get a lot of unemployed people, especially long-term unemployed, through the next few months until we have mass vaccination and reach herd immunity and the economy goes back to somewhat normal. So especially in the retail and hospitality sectors, which are hit pretty hard, they almost need the country to open back up for them to get their jobs. So this extension of unemployment benefits is huge and I think going to help a lot of people. There's also going to be a huge, this is what the Republicans opposed, but there's going to be provided $350 billion in state, local, and tribal government relief. So this means that a lot of states who spent money on COVID or had to have a lot of business shutdowns to enable the social distancing, implement protection programs, keep people home. This is going to help a lot of states who basically gone into bankruptcy in a lot of cases. The Republicans aren't a big fan of this because they feel that a lot of states like New York and California, blue states, will use this as bailout money for previous years of overspending. But this 350 billion is a centerpiece of what the Democrats want, and there's definitely political aspects to it. So that's going to be in the next bill as well. There's also going to be $70 billion for a national COVID vaccination program. So everyone's read about the challenges with the vaccination and how poorly it was done. But now that it's widespread, they want to accelerate it so that by the end of summer 2021, they can get mass immunization done across the country and things can go back to normal. And obviously, they want to keep doing testing, whether it's for schools or businesses or government. They want to ensure that people can get access to rapid testing so they know if they have COVID or not. There's also going to be $170 billion for schools to basically allow kids to come back, provide safe environments, and ensure that there's no significant disruption. So this includes K to 12 plus higher education. So it's a pretty expansive program. Again, this will probably be given out in a pretty generous manner, but it's a huge amount, and it's a big focus of the administration to get everyone back to school by the end of summer at the latest. A lot of schools are going back. They should get everyone back by end of summer, especially with this amount of money. And then there's also going to be a $30 billion provision to help rent for people on rent assistance and also to prevent them from losing their utilities. So because of the fact that people lost jobs, they can't make rent, they can't pay utilities, this amount will allow them to have some relief through this funding. They'll have to apply for it. There's a special way to get it, and that's in place right now. This is going to expand that program as well. And then finally, there's going to be additional funding for the small business PPP loan program. This is obviously to keep helping small businesses grow and expand. There was also talk of increasing the minimum wage to $15. That's still there, but I think that may end up being dropped just because it could be too expensive and probably cause more job losses than job creation. It'll probably come at a later stage. A lot of states are already at that level, so the impact of that may be minimal, and it's politically challenging to get the $15 federal minimum wage out there. But these are the big provisions in the new bill. The numbers are so massive, billions. If you do unemployment and stimulus, that's in itself probably half a $500 billion there, so half a trillion just there. So massive numbers, massive stimulus. The good news is, unlike previous stimulus packages, it won't go through months of congressional negotiation. The Democrats actually have enough to get through. Of course, if they have some moderate Democrats who push back, like Joe Manchin from West Virginia, if he is not happy with, for example, the stimulus check payments or the unemployment, they may scale these back a little bit or lower the income qualification level so less people get it. But I think for the most part, these should pass in some form or the other by the end of this month. It may take a few weeks after that, but most people should start getting these payments starting in March and in April. And some, like the expanded child tax credit, could be all the way through the rest of for the next year. So lots coming, lots of information out there. I'll keep posting when I find stuff. And if you find this information useful, please consider hitting the like or subscribe button. Thanks. Bye.